Hello, I'm Ashley Thomas and welcome to my channel, and here is my very late review of Shazam. Do apologise, it's been very sluggish when it comes to me creating content for my channel lately. I can only apologise. Doesn't mean I'm going away or I've given up on this channel. It's just we find it very difficult lately to just get around going to the cinema, seeing new movies and just creating content in general. I'm just going into my week off from work, and so yeah, I'm planning on creating quite a bit of content over the next week, this being the first one, my review of Shazam, which I actually seen about 3-4 weeks ago now. So Shazam is the 7th installment in the DC cinematic universe, and it's directed by a David F. Sandberg. Now, the only other movie that I've seen of his was his directorial debut, and that was Lights Out, the horror movie Lights Out, and I was actually quite impressed with that. I actually enjoyed it. I thought, you know, when it comes to horror movies, it was quite a decent horror movie, especially from what I can remember it, because it's been a long time now since I've seen that. I'd never seen his Annabelle movie, which apparently was very good. It was the sequel to Annabelle, and apparently his particular Annabelle movie was supposed to be quite good, but I've not seen it. So here we have got David F. Sandberg's Shazam. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this movie. It has a very big heart, and it runs with that. It sort of rides on this big emotional center that it has. You know, it's all about family and being accepted within a family and all of that. And it has this sort of blend of sort of late 80s, early 90s movies like Home Alone and Big. You know, that atmosphere is there, that vibe is within the movie, and I like that because, you know, like, I grew up with those movies. So the film, for those of you that may not know or haven't seen the film yet, follows a kid, an orphan called Billy Batson, and he obviously ends up being given these powers by a very old sorcerer or wizard, and he becomes Shazam, sort of the adult version of himself, but like a godlike adult version of himself, and all he has to do is shout Shazam. So Zachary Levi, who plays the adult version of Billy Batson, he's great in this movie. I liked what he did with the character. When it comes to delivering the humour, I found him quite funny in the role, and he really brought this character to life, and you end up really liking the character. Asher Angel plays the young Billy Batson, and he was also really good. Overall, I dug everyone's performance in this movie. Zachary Levi is great. Asher Angel as the younger Billy Batson really sold his, you know, his character's circumstances and, you know, where this character was in his life, and I just really liked his portrayal of this particular character. And the other performance that I really dug in this movie, coming from a young actor, is a Jack Dylan Grazer. Now, he was also in the first It, Chapter 1, and I really dug his performance in that. And I thought he was really good in this as well. So when it comes to sort of child actors, overall the performances are really good. Same goes for the adults. Mark Strong as the villain. He oozes evil. Mark Strong plays a very good villain in whatever film it may be, and I really liked him in this as well. And Mark Strong also looked like he was enjoying himself. He was having a good time, which really sort of reflects the sort of the vibe and the feel and the atmosphere of the overall movie, because this is a fun, enjoyable movie with this big emotional heart at the core. And so, as a result, you really end up caring for all of these characters, because all of the ingredients sort of just come together and were mixed, you know, and blended very well, and the result was really good. I liked it. And as we're on the subject of Mark Strong as the villain, probably one of the weakest aspects of this movie is the villain, and the fact that it starts off promising. So the film starts off with its villain, with sort of an introduction to its villain. And I liked it. I really dug the first few moments in this film where you're introduced to this particular villain. And that's about it. They don't really add much more to Savannah, Dr. Savannah. I think that's how you say his name. Apologies if I pronounced it wrong. It's like a Dr. theatre savannah, I think. And that's about it. That's the only sort of real effort that's made to sort of develop this villain, because the villain overall is quite one-dimensional, and so I ended up being a little bit disappointed with how they went about with the villain. But overall, you know, when it came to Mark Strong's performance in portraying this character and how he was sort of, you know, whenever he's on the screen, he just sort of eats it up. And there are some really cool moments with the villain. I just felt like he needed a little bit more depth. Now, what I will say, for me personally, it was just a little bit too light and fluffy and fuzzy. And so I'm not, you know, that's just a tiny nitpick with me. But yeah, that's just me. I mean, the humour works very well in this movie. It's actually very well balanced when it comes to the tone. Like, I've seen a lot of reviews since this film have come out, because obviously this review is quite late, and a lot of people commented on it. There are some really dark moments in this film. And yeah, there are. And, you know, I actually thought they worked quite well within the overall movie. Now, a lot of people out there don't think the same, but there are some, you know, there are some dark, violent sort of moments, very sort of horrific moments, and it sort of really shows that this director, the guy who directed this movie, David F. Sandberg, what sort of background he comes from, which is horror, and it's almost as if he really wanted to sort of get that horror element of, you know, into the movie somewhere. And it's there, and I actually really dug it. I dug those moments, and it's those moments with the villain mainly. But there's this one particular scene in an office, in a building, and I just liked how it played out. It was like, at that time, at that moment, if you've seen the film, you know what I'm on about. And so you've got all these like different monsters, and it is quite I suppose, a scary, intense scene for kids. And in fact, at the viewing that I was at during that scene, kids actually started crying, and parents had to take their kids out of the screening. They came back in fact, because you could see the parents were actually enjoying the film quite a bit. But when it came to those sort of really intense and sort of scary moments, when it came to sort of the villain and those particular moments, it was quite dark, but compared to the rest of the movie, and, you know, going back on my previous criticism in this probably being, for me anyway, a little bit too light and fluffy, surprisingly, it sort of worked, and it really shouldn't have. And maybe that's just me, I don't know. But when it came to tone, I can see why some people that were probably may have had an issue with that. But for me, it worked. Like, it didn't really sort of like, I kind of liked it as well. I liked the way it was shot. In a way, it reminded me of Steven Spielberg, and how Steven Spielberg shoots horror, creates horror. And that's why I think I really dug it. It had that sort of Steven Spielberg vibe about it. So when it comes to the action in the movie, I think that's probably the one aspect of this movie that I had issue with, and it's the way the action was edited, and sort of how the action played out throughout the movie, mainly the third act and its climax. I found the third act to be very anticlimactic when it came to the final showdown, and it's just how it sort of plays out, and I sort of felt like that throughout most of the duration of the movie. Like, it is fun and it is entertaining, but it felt very disjointed in a way, the action scenes, and whether that's down to the way it was edited, I think the editing could have just been a little bit tighter, but overall I just felt like that, especially that third act, which is supposed to be, you know, really climactic, I just thought it was very anticlimactic. As fun as it was, like, it is fun, I'm not going to say, you know, I'm not going to deny, and it was enjoyable. I just felt like the action needed to be a little bit more engaging, just flow a little bit better. But other than that, yeah, overall, this is quite a fun movie. It's an enjoyable movie. I think everyone's going to have a good time with it. Overall, I think it's a very, you know, it's a well-made film. Shows that David F. Sandberg can sort of go away from the horror genre and sort of do other things like superhero movies. I think he crafted a really good superhero movie. Yeah, it's not perfect. There are things that bugged me, like I said, like when it came to the editing and the action movie and the action scenes. But yeah, I really liked Shazam. So yeah, I'm about to grade the movie, and I'm gonna grade this movie differently to how I've graded previous movies. And going forward, this is the new grading system that I'm gonna use, and I'm doing away with the F to A star or A plus grading system. I'm now just gonna grade grade the movies that I review using the simple, basic, common sort of grading system, and that is a 0 to 10. What do you guys think? Let me know below, because for any of you that watch my videos, prefer me to grade films in sort of that way, from a F to an A scale, let me know, and maybe I may revert back to it. But going forward, I feel like I want to sort of just change the way how I grade these movies, basically. And so it's going to be from a 0 to 10. And I will be giving Shazam a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, there's my thoughts on Shazam. But what do you guys think? Please let me know below. I would really like to know, and let's get a discussion going. I tried to make this review as brief and as quick as possible. It's a very late review, but like a lot of things when it comes to this channel, this is still a work in progress. This is not the sort of the definite setup. This is not a permanent setup. I do have a lot of plans actually for the setup. The camera will be eventually in a completely different place and all of that. But yeah, I want to just thank everyone for sticking around, my subscribers and any new subscribers. Yeah, just a big thanks. Obviously, if you like the video, if you like my reviews, then just hit that like button, because it'll help me out a lot. Any feedback on my channel, my videos, would be greatly appreciated. Just leave the link, just leave the comments below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. My next video will be me talking about the new teaser trailer for Terminator Dark Fate. I am dying to talk about this trailer. I haven't done a reaction. I'm just going to do a review to it, and I cannot wait to bring you that, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings and opinions that I want to express about that trailer, because I'm a massive Terminator fan. So yeah, that'll be my next video. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. And remember, if you want to follow just a geek who likes to talk about film, TV and everything geeky, then why not hit subscribe?